had two realizations in the past 2 weeks, two epiphanies, two whatever you want to call them, that have opened my eyes to the possibility that we are not as in the food chain, top of the food chain as we believe we are.
Why'd you say that?
Have you seen all Black Mirror episodes?
I thought you were gonna say, have you ever seen a black person? Have you seen all black people before? Not every single one, but like I've seen a few.
Not enough.
Have I seen the new black?
Not the new
Not
Black.
enough in the Heights, right? Freaking whitewash that play is. Anyways, um, what was I talking? What were we talking about black people for? Oh, Black Mirror, Black Mirror. Yeah, I have not seen the new Black Mirror episode. No.
Not the new. Have you seen all of them?
Oh no, I haven't. I mean, I've seen a decent amount.
Have you seen the one with the dating? That it's like the guy and the girl they meet up for a date, and they're like in this world. Throughout the episode, you don't know what's going on. All you know is that they have this app that tells them who to date and how long to date them for.
Okay.
Right. So it's trying to match them up with their true love.
Right.
Right. So the guy goes on a date with a girl. They really like each other. They have some chemistry there, and then the time expires, and then he tells you got to go and be with this girl
Oh, I haven't seen
for 2 months,
that. I haven't seen
and then
that
you
episode.
go and you're with that girl for 2 months, and then he tells you, now you got to go back with this girl for 6 days, and like that you're randomly testing people out in random times throughout your life,
Right.
and it keeps happening, and you're supposed to, at the end, find what your real match is. It's like this system trying to find your match. So in the story, the guy can't forget the first girl that he went out on a date. He's going through his life like dating and being with all these women, but she's still the one that like calls at his heart.
Right.
And the same thing happened to her. So long story short, they end up getting together and trying to escape
Right.
that facility where they were at.
You've told me about this, but I've never seen this.
So that the show ends with that they're running around, and there's like helicopters chasing them, this and that, and then they come to a big wall, and the wall is like the ending of the thing, and then when it pans out,
End of
you-
the episode. That'd be pretty cool.
when it pans out, you realize that they are in a small system, like a small simulation, and then the girl that was in there, comes out in real life, and
And
the
she just
the lady's like, "Hi, Mrs. Johnson. We have simulated all of your matches, and we've come up with a winner." So what the program did was that it made copies of them, and it made them simulate scenarios with all the people that was around her to know if it was going to work out or not. So by the time that all that happened, and she knew that was the guy she was gonna end up with, then she
Right.
could just go right ahead and marry him or whatever.
dude, that is
So-
crazy.
So
Wow.
here's my epiphany.
Okay.
My first epiphany. What if we are all the different scenarios
For one girl.
happening inside the mind that is the universe?
So what? So like, how would that work though? Like, are we all like the like trial boyfriend for like one girl, or is it like for every girl?
No, dude, it's like for life, right? It's like I'm talking about every scenario in life inside a mind.
Oh.
Every fear, every horror that's ever in that person's mind has been simulated
Right.
by the mind, and that's the only way the mind can know it, right? So the mind is creating this reality and playing out all these circumstances, and we are that play. We are that circumstantial movie that's happening in a billion trillion different ways, kind of like neurons firing off
Yeah.
and on inside the brain.
I think that theory is true to some kind of extent in the sense that like
It would explain a lot of things, right?
yeah, I think that like it makes sense in the sense that like we are a learning mechanism for the entire universe as a whole. Like we are just, I don't want to call it an experiment, but we are just like a living, walking like information gatherer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For this all-knowing kind of thing.
That's why I think that if the aliens come to our planet, we'll be surprised that they're gonna want to talk to the plants,
Yeah.
because the plants are really the ones that ruled Earth.
Uh-huh.
You know, we're just what they. You know, like I think of us as bees. You know how bees like control the entire ecosystem of the Earth by pollinating flowers. You know, like if we lost all bees, like we will lose 75% of our agriculture.
Yeah.
That's how important bees are. And all they do is they collect this stuff. They pollinate the flowers by going from flower to flower, doing their job, right? But they go one flower here, and then their little legs, they have that pollen, and they're literally fertilizing. That's how plants make love. You know, that's literally a bee jumping from flower to flower is a plant making love and procreating. So even in that circumstance where the bee is working for its own survival, it's helping grow the plant. It's doing the plant's bidding. We are just that at a larger scale.
Absolutely.
You know, we're a little messier and we mess up a lot of times, but you know, we seem to at the end have good intention. We understand how vital our ecosystem is, better than any other animal out there. We know that it must be protected. We mess it up at the same time because we're still idiots, but we're still doing the plant. We're saving the plants for when the aliens come over.
Now,
They can bro, how good in evolution has a plant become? Where this is how badass plants are. Okay? They feed directly from the main source. of, they don't take shortcuts, bro.
Right.
Like they're like, what is this? We need energy. What produces energy? Everything. Yeah, but where does it come from? From the sun. That's where I want. I want my energy straight from the tap.
you said
I want my energy straight from the tit.
what?
Give it to me.
Listen.
Dude, they photosynthesize energy without having. They feed themselves. They grow. They procreate without moving an inch, dude.
It is cool, and I hear what you're coming from, and I know that we're so past this, but you said something about like if aliens come down, they're gonna want to talk to the plants. Do you say that because aliens like theoretically would come down and want to speak with the leader of the planet, like the main governing
Well, that's
body?
the idea, right? That if the aliens came down, they would talk to humans because we are the advanced species.
Right, because we're the rulers of the earth.
Correct.
Whatnot.
And all the movies and all the books, that's the expectation. And it will be funny if the aliens came down and we have like all the armies of the world, that the leaders of the
Queen
world.
of England is like waiting
the Queen
to
of
shake
England is
their
like
hand.
standing there waiting for the aliens to come down. Wouldn't that be incredibly shocking and romantic, right? Imagine this. Just like that, there's this like humongous event where all the world leaders are there. The entire world is watching on the internet. It's life changing, right? Humanity would never ever be the same ever again.
Right.
For the very first time in existence, without a shadow of a doubt, we're not alone in the universe, right? And everybody's there, crazy, freaking UFO lands, the ship lands, the door opens and down comes this alien and starts walking to the tarmac, and all of a sudden it stops and it bends over, and in between the cracks of the concrete,
Like some weeds, and they're like,
there's a little
hello?
flower.
Oh my gosh.
And it bends down to it, gets close to it, closes his eyes. There's some kind of telepathic communication going on where it doesn't take speech nor hearing, but you can totally tell that they're communicating. He
And then
nods.
They just get back inside their ship.
He nods, walks right back.
He's like, I understand the universe now. Thanks
And
for
then you imagine the quiet.
Oh my gosh.
of the entire world, bro.
This is spoken poetry I'm hearing right now.
And the ship slowly hums to life
Why you're
and
being very
disappears in the
detailed,
distance, dog.
very detailed in your explanation there.
'Cause that's how I see it.
That's how you see it in your head.
Wouldn't it be ironic? Wouldn't it be just humbling?
Yes, it'd be very humbling. Because then the first thing that would happen is that all humans would start figuring out how to talk to plants, because they're like, well, this alien got all the information he needed from a flower. So if we talk to trees, I mean, imagine what the trees could know. And then you're gonna see people walking around with this big band around their head with little waves coming out of it, and doctors are like, nothing's working. And then they're going to make a movie about it with Leonardo DiCaprio. Just saying, that's the first thing that would happen after that situation.
Humanity's weird, man. But yeah, I definitely hope the aliens land, and
I hope they land safely. I hope that their travels are going well right now. You know what's scary? I saw this on TikTok. You probably saw it too. What's scary is that, like, they, like, for the amount of evidence there is, it's that there should be some kind of, like, other life form very close, even in our own solar system. I mean, the studies and the scientists will tell you, like there really should be aliens there. And what's scary about it is that there's not, which, like, that we know of. So the reason that's scary is, like, and like I said, I got this from a TikTok. You probably saw it. But the reason that's scary is because, I mean, imagine you're a fish in the ocean. This is the example that he gave. Imagine you're a fish in the ocean. You're expecting there to be a bunch of fish around you because you're in the ocean, but there are none. That's going to make you think, as the fish, like, why are there no other fish here? Could there be something, either killing them or scaring them away? That's how we should feel in the sense that we should be looking around left and right and seeing extraterrestrial life, but we're not. Which means that, like, there's a reason why we haven't encountered aliens yet. There's a reason. And that reason being unknown is honestly pretty scary to me. And I think it should be to everybody. Like I said, that was not a single original thought, but I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I think that it's either way it's crazy, dude. Like, if you think, oh, this humongous universe with unimaginable numbers of stars and planets and galaxies that all move in rhythm according to laws of physics, and they go around most likely for an infinite amount, and you try to think about that number, you try to think about the expanse that represents,
Yeah.
and you just can't grasp your head around it. Like, it's it's not even, our brains don't comprehend it. We can't even think about it and understand it. And then to think, oh, all that, and we're the only thing that exists, that to me sounds ridiculous. First of all, we've only had a telescope for, like, what, 500 years? How long have we been looking up at the stars?
500 years is a little bit liberal.
I don't know.
I would think. I feel like the telescope is an invention that's, like, from the 1800s, maybe 1700s. No, because you got, like, Aristotle and stuff, so it's probably, like, from way back when.
I don't even want to make a guess because I'm gonna sound so dumb.
I just made two very stupid guesses, so you're in the same boat as me if you do.
Anyway, it hasn't been, compared to the lifespan of the universe and this planet, it has been nothing. It's been, like, not even the blink of an eye. So, I don't know, man. That to me sounds like, when you're talking about probabilities, that freaking extends. I don't know.
It's
Either way, the other thing that I keep thinking about, which I've also heard on some various
TikTok. Bro.
media
Just say
of
TikTok.
social
It's okay.
people,
TikTok. Yes.
is that every time a smarter and more advanced civilization encounters a dumber one, for lack of a better word, it never ends well for the dumb people.
No, it doesn't.
It's just, it doesn't.
But maybe it could not be that way. maybe that's just for the movies, and that when there is an intelligent life form.
Think about this. Think about what if it was us, right?
We're the
Like
intelligent life
check
form.
it. There's always a beginning, right? And we think, oh, we've been here for millions of years. There must be something else out there because life took, this time to form on Earth. Given um, the right things, life could start sparing, all over the universe. Just needs time. But what if we are the very beginning of that process? What if we're the there had to be a first, right?
Right.
What if we're not that first intelligent life that popped up? Right? And what happens is that time passes. We become civilized enough to leave the planet. Right? Imagine like 1,000 years into the future right now. We leave the planet and we go to colonize other planets. Once we get to those planets that we need for our survival, we find intelligent life lives there. How do you think we would act? Do you think they'll be like, "Oh my God, the humans have
Immediately?
come"?
No. If we were that invading species that was going on a different planet,
We are the invading species, dog.
but like if like us now, like our humanity now, were to like Elon Musk it to Mars and we found another civilization there, if they weren't nearly as intelligent as us, like if they were just like cat level smart, not even dog level smart, just cat level smart, there would be mass homicides, probably to wipe out the entire, probably to extinct the entire planet.
Not even if like I'm getting Avatar vibes here. Have you watched Avatar?
Dude, years ago,
Do you remember the premise?
the guy turns into a blue guy. I don't really know.
Yeah, because they're in this planet called Pandora, and forgive me, it's been a while since I watched that movie too.
For real.
But the humans are in that planet called Pandora because there's this material, this mineral that it has. I don't remember what it was. That's extremely valuable, right? So they're mining those fields.
Right.
But there is a kind of like an aboriginal tribe of aliens that live there, which is the blue people.
The blue people, yeah.
So they got to displace them. But that's where they're like um, religious. Like there's a tree that they worship. That supposedly gives them power and connects them to the planet and all that stuff.
Right.
Like all their religious and their stuff is in that area, so they don't want to leave it.
Mm-hmm.
So the avatar is they get the guy to basically be in the consciousness of the blue avatar, which it just means that it's not a real thing. It's a biological suit basically that they made for him to become acquainted with them and being there and find out information of how to displace them,
Right.
how to convince them to move out. It's a great movie. I think the second part's coming out.
Isn't it like the second most grossing film in history?
I don't know. It's James Cameron, so probably.
I think it is.
So that's exactly how I think humans would be. That's exactly how I think. And then what would happen is, check this out. You're gonna like this. What would happen is that thousands of years will pass. The Earth will go through a cycle where global warming would mess it all up. Where people here will become extinct. Everybody will fly off planet to various different other planets where humanity now has an established society and people can live a lot better than on old Earth, right?
Right.
Earth undergoes transformations. Another 1,000, 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 years pass. There's been wars, the economy, blah blah blah. Everything's expanded to a whole bunch of planets.
Right.
Things are bad, and one family, one group of people decide to go back to Earth to find safety.
The landers, the grounders. What are they called? Do you know the show I'm referring to?
The 100.
The 100.
Yeah. And then those people start a little civilization, right? Using the same methods as the primitive humans of Earth, using the same tools, advancing through nature.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, we're reading the Bible, right? And we lost the connection to that primal, to that very first second try that we're in, right? This is the second run around, and we don't even know it. That
Right.
it all began here millions of years ago, and then it went away, and it conquered other galaxies, and then it came back, and it grew up again, right? And now it's becoming noticeable enough. Now it's becoming noticeable enough for the other people in the other planets. We're like, yo, what's going on down there on Earth? What's
Hmm.
happening? I don't know. I heard a whole bunch of people starting a society. Yeah, it looks good. Let's go. And that you see the UFOs flying around, checking it out.
Bro.
You know, and
Bro, you're blowing my mind right now. Holy crap. Because that would be crazy. Is that like a premise of a TV show?
I have no idea, but it
It
should
should
be.
be. It should be. Hope it
So
is.
then, when they say yes, this ties in perfectly with the movie that you like, with Interstellar,
Mm-hmm.
because then since it's us and we know what we're gonna do to the Earth, and we're like, you know what? It's the second time around. We're not gonna mess it up this time. If we're really gonna start, they're going the same way we were. No, we gotta stop them.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta stop them before they blow themselves up. Enter Interstellar.
And the freaking world is just going downhill. So that time should be coming very soon.
Very soon.
Because I doubt, listen, I really doubt that if Earth exists by this time, that it's going to be very different. Like, I'm talking like aliens walking around different by 2030.
Yeah, you think so?
I truly believe that. I think by 2030, I sound freaking crazy. I think by 2030, I'm telling you, either aliens are going to be walking
No.
around or humanity's
A
going to
big
be.
shift is coming, and I think everybody feels it. And I don't, I lived my entire life talking about the end of the world, so I'm not saying at the end of the world or anything like that, because I definitely don't believe it's gonna be the end of the world. But it's pressure, right? Like, you know what happens to tectonic plates over millions of years of just pressuring one another,
Right.
right? Eventually, it just takes one time. They're like, no more, and they slide down or up, and that's what you get.
Earthquakes and.
Earthquakes and all that crap. It's pressure that builds over millions of years, and I think that's how I see society nowadays. Just two tectonic plates going at it. Building pressure against one another, and nobody's giving. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
But then I look back at history, and I'm like, oh, this stuff has happened. Worse things have happened, and one thing that, bro, I'll tell you this, man. When everything opened back up, I was coming back from getting a haircut, and I was coming back by the stadium,
Yeah.
and right in front of the stadium they had a vaccination site. But with the cars, they come in and you get vaccinated in your car,
Right.
and then you leave. And I'm driving by and I see these lines of cars, right, just there getting ready to get vaccinated, and I just went, man, we're freaking humans, bro. There's nothing you throw at us, bro. There's nothing you throw at us that we're not like,
Okay.
I can fix it.
Yeah.
Bro, we're so freaking resilient, and I know I talk shit about humanity a lot, but honestly, I teared up when I was like, man, it's like we
It's like that realization that you're just like, man, like we're like the human species is dope.
bro, I was like,
Sometimes.
these motherfuckers don't want it. They refuse to die.
Anything.
And it's like you have these people, and yes, a lot of it is for money, and but there are people out there that genuinely work and make these things to save lives. The people at the hospitals, at the emergency rooms, EMTs, firefighters, people that give their lives for the wellness of other people, man. It's freaking incredible. And seeing that, it's kind of like coming out of like a nightmare, when you realize, oh my God, it's gonna be okay.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be okay because we're humans. At the end of the day, we scream, we yell, we freaking get mad at each other. We're messy. We're messy because that ape we still have in our brain is too present in us still. There needs to be a version 2.0 of humans that gets that part a little bit smaller.
You know what?
The part that wants to fight all the time and masturbate on things and all that crazy crap.
Absolutely. But here's my question for you, right? And I might be just being dumb here. Like, there might be a solid answer to this. I'm just genuinely asking. You know, I mean, I think, what's the science called that studies evolution? Is it anthropologist?
Anthropology.
So would it be
Anthropologist.
Anthropologists?
Mm-hmm.
They like. Is there a reason why they said that evolution for the human species like stopped after we got to like this point that we're at right now? Like, was it an extended? Has it been like? Have we looked like this for so long that they're like, okay, no more?
It's my belief that we will evolve.
Well, evolution doesn't just come every summer. Like, evolution's always happening.
Yeah, it takes hundreds of thousands, if not millions,
There's
of
no
years.
there's no definitive point of like, okay, not evolved, evolved. Like,
No, it's a continuous thing.
so absolutely.
Yeah.
So like, obviously, us nor will our great 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 grandkids ever see any difference from where we're at now. I think that in a freaking
No, in 500. Look, Homo sapiens have only been on this planet for about 100,000 years. We're young, dude.
right.
We're
Yeah.
super young. That's why we have all these issues that it still that comes from our animal side.
Yeah.
It's like you gave a horny monkey intelligence. Like, that's what you did.
Yeah.
That's what, dude. Think about it. That's what we are. We're intelligent things that just want to mate, that just want to procreate. We have the same freaking
I mean,
outbursts of energy and anger, and we fight with one another, we kill each other. It's
you
a
look at
freaking
it.
mess.
You look at it like you look at the world, bro. This is so cheesy. You look at the world and look at society, man, and what you'll realize is
Listen, man.
what you'll realize is, bro, what you'll realize is that everything that people do, no matter what it is either for money, and money is for attracting women. So everything in the end is just to get laid.
We make things, we think we're smart, and we make things difficult and complicated. So it seems
It
to
all
us
leads
that we're
back.
smart because they're little birds that I've seen on the National Geographic planet, where they just go up to the girl and they dance for like 5 minutes, and if the girl likes them, they mate,
Yeah.
and that's it. They go on their way, easy peasy.
Yeah, we're such a complicated species. Why
Our
does it have
version
to
of
be
that
like,
is you have to get bullied through high school and then go through college and freaking get a master's degree in engineering or become a lawyer and then get your license and then get your practice and then save enough money to buy a house and an expensive car and then use that expensive car to go back to your high school sweetheart and try to see if she wants to take a ride with the top down. Why?
That's what I'm saying, is that we're too complicated
Just
with it.
dance.
The more complex this is, the more complex life is. Think about ants, right? Ants don't have a complicated brain. They're so tiny. I mean, granted, their brain to body ratio might be good. I mean, only so much information could be fit on that, right? All I'm saying is that the tinier the brain, the more minimalist lifestyle they have. I mean, what do ants do? They build their fortresses and then they die and pass it on to their kids until some little kid on a playground kicks it over, and then their entire life and generations worth is useless. But then they just do it again because they're just super chill. That's what I'm saying. Like, bee movie, ant movie. That would be a slapper.
There is a movie called Ants.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw The Bug's Life. Have you seen that one?
It's around the same time.
The Bug's Life used to be like, I think The Bug's Life is the reason why I went through a stage of like being addicted to like bugs. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I loved
We
like,
had a praying mantis.
I had a pet praying mantis. Oh, I still miss her to this day. Rest in peace, Rose. You know what I mean?
Rose.
But I would kill for another praying mantis today. I had like 100 of them at one point, but they all ate each other. You know what I mean? Look how simple that life is. I mean, you're born and you die because your mother eats you as soon as you're born. Like, that's amazing. That's like super cool to me. Super simple.
Do you know why Evolution has allowed alcohol being a poison to remain in our digestive system. We can digest it. You know, alcohol is poison. It should kill us.
Yeah, I mean, it does if you drink enough of it.
Mhm.
I mean, everything kills you if you drink enough of it, to be
Of
honest.
course,
But alcohol quicker.
it's a poison.
It is, and I've actually read up on this, and it's interesting, because I mean, it really does intoxicate. It really does like intoxicate you. I mean, just listen to the word intoxicate. It's a toxin in your body, which is like, but you ingest it anyways.
Yeah. The reason is believed that it's good for survival of the species.
What do you mean?
There's a lot of people that will not be around today, probably including you, if it wouldn't be for alcohol.
Really?
Yeah, it's a social and sexual lubricant.
It is, but it's also illegal.
Alcohol is illegal.
You can't have intercourse while you're drunk. That's considered rape.
Is that a new thing?
That's the law, bro. Have you?
Since when is that the law? Cause I gotta,
That's the
I
law.
might have a warrant out for my arrest.
It's one of those laws that like nobody follows. Like everybody is gonna have a drink
Yeah.
and then have
Yeah, and that's what happens. Forget the law.
But the law says that if you have intercourse with somebody who is under the influence, it's considered rape because they can't consent.
What if I was under the influence, so I couldn't consent to my own self that
Then
I didn't want to do
the
it?
other person, even if you were drunk and you raped a girl, let's just say, she could go to jail because she had sex with a drunk person.
That's dope.
But they would figure out like that's theoretically, but obviously a freaking lawyer would be like, actually, this girl was raped, and then you would go to jail anyways. So don't get any ideas, freaking wackos out there. But also,
What if you're high on meth?
literally any kind of intoxication is illegal.
Oh,
You cannot be drunk, high, or freaking tripping out. Like you have to be
all right,
sober.
but hear me out. How about paint thinner?
Paint thinner.
Not truly a drug.
I think it is.
It's for thinning paint.
But don't people like eat that and get like high off of it?
If you do not ever eat paint.
Do they snort it or something?
They sniff it. Yeah, they smell the fumes that come off of it.
And it gets
You
them
know,
all
I will
whacked up.
never forget, dude. I was when I was young, I used to speed a lot, and I accumulated a certain amount of tickets that required me to take like a 12-hour class, like
Really?
traffic school. And I don't remember. It was 12 hours, bro. I went in there like Saturday at 12, at 6 in the morning to like 5, and then a few hours more on Sunday. I don't remember. It was long. And there's a part where they're talking about drug safety and drug violations and stuff and what drugs did to people. And I'll never forget they had this picture of a guy that had died. It was a homeless dude.
I don't know why I heard in my head this guy that had diarrhea.
He probably had diarrhea after I tell you what happened to him.
I thought you were gonna say they showed us this clip of this guy having diarrhea. I was like, for a drug class?
Bro, so they had the picture of this guy in the autopsy bed with his stomach wide open and all his
Oh, that's
insides out.
gross. That's gross.
Dog. And it looked like the inside of a freaking it looked like a clown in there, bro. Because he
Bro.
was sniffing paint. So he was like blue and red. Yeah.
No, that colorize like that. It's gonna colorize
The
your
paint
lungs.
was inside him, bro. All his organs were different colors, like a party.
That's scary. I would probably be traumatized after
Yeah. And then he had really bad diarrhea.
that. Once his bowels settled, it was terrible, dude. Bro, can I tell you about this epiphany I had just the other day? Like, actually, it was yesterday. Do you want to?
Yeah, that is the other day. It's not this day.
It's not this day. It's the other day. But the other day is yesterday. Anyways, this is really not deep or philosophical in any way, but I do
Alright.
think it's a little interesting. I think it's interesting that, like, how separated your mind and your body really is.
Is it?
Yes. And let me just set up this crazy completely illogical scenario for you and try to explain it. Imagine there's this guy. He grows up in the middle of New York City. He's a city guy, complete city guy.
Mm-hmm.
Takes the subway to work every day, like is atheist, let's just say, has political views, whatever. He could, theoretically, this would literally never happen. If he wanted to, he could move to the middle of like the country, like deep south, and put on this persona just externally that he's like this cowboy country southern Christian guy. Make a whole group of friends, and nobody will ever know as long as he keeps it in his head. He could go home every night and have X beliefs and be X like personality. Pretend to be something completely the opposite, and nobody will know. Nobody will know. So that raises a couple questions. One, any one of our friends could be doing that, and we would have literally no idea. Like I said, completely not reasonable situation. Nobody would ever do it. But in theory, somebody could. And two, it just goes to show what we as people do on a it's on a more extreme case. But tell me that people, myself included, whoever, like 100% of the time you're in high school, you're at work or whatever, 100% of the time you will, sometimes slightly, sometimes on a bigger scale, alter certain aspects of your personality to accommodate what that person is interested in, to fit in. We do it subtly, so we don't even notice that we do it, but we do it. We put on some extent of a mask.
You know, the Japanese have a saying, and I'm going to butcher it, so look this up later because I don't remember it exactly word by word. But I know this for a fact. It was that every person has three faces. We have the face that we give our loved ones and the people that we care about. The face that we give regular friends and acquaintances. And then the face that we give ourselves. They are all three a mask.
Right, all three.
We are none of the people that we think we are. Every time, and you pay attention to what you're doing as you drive to work, as you enter the door of school, of work. As soon as you enter that door and there are people observing you, you become.
Absolutely.
You become the one thing that they know you are.
I 100%.
Because in your head, you have to play out the persona that they expect you to be. And as you come home and you open the door, and there's your siblings, your parents, your wife, your kids, you become.
Let me tell you this, man. I so agree with you. I agree with that 100%. But I don't think that there's just, a solid, like, here's the mask you show in front of yourself, in front of your... I think that you have... I believe that people have a different, like, a special little place in their personality, a different mask for every single person they've ever encountered, ever. Ever. How many times have you seen a cute girl? Well, you're engaged now, so you don't have to answer. How many times have you seen a cute
Never.
girl walking by
Never.
on the sidewalk, and you've slightly altered the way you're walking or the way you're carrying yourself, just so for this split second that this girl walks past you and sees you in her peripheral vision?
Has it happened and you haven't noticed?
100%.
Yep. And you're like,
yeah.
why did I do that?
And on a greater scale, I don't think I've ever met two people, ever, that I've acted the same around. I think that any two random people in my life could come together and they would expect a completely different person. And they both be me. Because I literally, and I don't do it to be all secretive, I think everybody does this, I literally show a completely different person to every single person that I meet.
This is deep.
Every single person that I meet has a different perspective of me.
This is enlightenment, folks.
Like, you will never see me the way one of my like acquaintances at school will see me, because
If
they see
you're
me
able
from a
to see this part of
completely
yourself
completely different than what you think of me.
accurately from within, you're winning at life already. To tie that to my other epiphany that I had, and I really want to run. I'm excited to run this by you, and hopefully I have time. You know what I've been getting really good at?
What's that?
Telling the time.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. What do you look at a
So
watch?
I wake up several times at night.
True.
You know, go to the bathroom, get some water. My cat usually wakes me up. She wants to get fed at 4 o'clock in the morning. And every time I wake up, I'm like, it's 4:30 right now. And I'm always within 5 minutes, bro.
Yeah. Do you always wake? Maybe you always wake up at the same time. I mean, you have an internal clock. Everybody does.
That 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 that's what I'm coming to, right? So we have this internal clock that literally that literally tells time and manages time without our knowledge.
Right.
Like, how does a unconscious body know how many rotations the earth freaking does, and when it's nighttime and morning time, and how long it's passed since you ate last? How does it know that?
Right.
And then I was thinking, your time changes depending on what you're doing. If you're having a really good time doing something, time flies like that.
That could be about perspective. I mean, the
If
way
you have a bad sleep night,
time goes back super slow.
super slow. But if you have a good one, feels like 5 minutes.
If that.
When you go, so we can be in the same room, in the same scenario right now. Let's say that I'm enjoying this and you're not. And I can guarantee you that to me it's felt like 30 minutes and to you it's felt like 3 hours. It's the same amount of time.
Mhm.
But time is relative to you and your consciousness. And then that word hit me. I was like, relative, relative, relative. Law of relativity, right? Time does the same thing,
Okay.
right? Time is relative to your position and your speed.
Absolutely.
So we can be you here and you in a planet that's coming away from me or doing whatever, moving faster than me, and you will age a lot slower than I age. But yet you won't feel like you're lasting a long time, and I
think
won't
it's about
feel like
feeling.
I won't.
Absolutely.
You'll feel like you lasted the same amount of time either way. It's not like it was 1,000 years from my perspective. You felt that you lived 1,000 years.
Absolutely.
It's relative. And I was watching this documentary the other day. I forget the name of the scientist, but he was saying that his professor used to say, time is personal. Right? Time is personal to you. It's relative to your position, right? To your velocity, to your every move. Time is personal.
Absolutely.
And then it dawned on me. What if time really is personal? Right? What
So
if our
cheesy.
reality itself, bro? What if we
We're
think
gonna get a bunch of nerd glasses in the comments.
what if we think that reality is creating us? Okay, put it this way. You've heard of the question, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody hears it, does it make a sound?
Right.
It's kind of like,
One of those kind of things. Like, does everything exist around us, or is it existing around us?
so the question is, if a universe forms without anybody to observe it, does it really exist?
That's what I'm saying. That's the ultimate question.
So the reality, dude, the fact that we're able to observe the universe is in fact our relative reality of creating that universe, which
Well-
is relative to each one of us, man.
Well, the thing is,
I sound like a hippie right now, but I'm enlightened, yo.
I know, but here's the thing. Everybody has individual reality. Everybody does. Because my reality is not the same as your reality. They're completely different. I will never, and I have never and will never be able to know what your life is like, because I'm not seeing it through your eyes, both literally and figuratively. So like, everybody has individual reality. So I think that literally your reality is like your reality. It's what
But
you see.
it's like, look,
what you
it's
hear.
like the best way to put it. It's like the internet, right? The internet is this thing, right? It's this massive connection. It's one thing,
Yeah.
but you can only access a part of it through a computer, right? Well, the human is the computer. The human is the access to the reality.
Mhm.
There is this reality, this connection of realities that make up this network that we call reality.
Right.
But there isn't like a thing, like a park that's just sitting there.
Mhm.
Just like there isn't an internet that's just in some park. Like,
Right.
oh, that's the internet. That's where we all go every day to waste time and call each other buttholes. That's all I got.
I agree with you, man. You ever seen Avengers: Age of Ultron? Yeah, we watched that together.
I definitely think that
Ultron, the internet.
time is human generated. Let me repeat that because we're just talking crap. I definitely think nothing. Like it's nothing is definite. I definitely think that.
Yeah, I definitely think is an oxymoron.
Yeah, I definitely.
I am so sure that I think,
definitely have the opinion that what I'm talking about is smack.
Yes.
Where's this accent coming from?
Yes. What are you talking about, man?
I sound like the queen.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. It just came out.
You sound like the queen.
It's like the queen is in my mouth.
Talking about poker,
Whoa.
right? I mean, come on now. Chess, maybe? You know what's really sad, like dawning on me that's really sad? How bad I am at chess is
You are so.
is such a clear indicator.
You are so bad,
Listen.
bro.
The fact that I'm so bad at chess and I've been playing for as long as I have, it's a clear indicator that I'm not as smart as I think I am at all. Like it's really sad. Like sometimes I lay in bed and cry cuz I'm like I'm not as smart as I think I am. I'm actually
No,
much
dude,
dumber.
you have more of a creative mind like I do.
What that is that's a backhanded compliment because a creative mind won't get you a job.
It should.
I guess it could, but actually it
No.
really couldn't. Nothing creative gets you a job. I'm trying to adjust it so it doesn't fall on me. Jeez. No, but I think a creative job, if you're a creative person, is like almost all the time you have to become like not only a creative person, but a freaking business person. Because entrepreneurship like goes to any freelancer, any like person. And when you're creative and when you're an actor, something along those lines, somewhere in the creative industry, you're going to have to be on your own for like the first half of the freaking grind. So you have to like that's why like you say there are so many street performers on the side of a subway station. Because they have the talent, they should be as famous as the next guy. But they can a person can only have so much talent. You can't be that good at one thing and also be a freaking entrepreneur. It's freaking impossible. Your brain doesn't have that much freaking capacity. You know what I mean? So you're going to have, like, all the people who are at the top are, like, half and half. Like, they're only half good at singing, but they're, like, a super good marketing person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's capitalism.
Capitalism. You think, like, in China, they're like, ugh, capitalism.
They love it.
They love capitalism?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
They're just happy they're not in labor camps.
We should stop. We're going to get canceled.
I don't wanna say anything political.
We're going to get canceled.
No.
Their background is blue.
By the time
Democrats.
By the time they see this episode, we would have been canceled a long time ago.
Yeah, if anyone was actually watching this crap, we would be done for. Dunzo. Hey, by the way, dude, there's this show that I'm hearing about. It's called.
If it's Showgirls, trust me.
No, come on.
Not
There's this
great.
show that I keep on hearing about. It's called dude. Oh, it's called Invincible. Have you heard of it?
I think I have.
I have
on
been
Netflix,
hearing-
right?
Yes, I've been hearing so much about this show that like I feel like a freaking outcast not watching it. It's a cartoon. Like it's almost like an anime, but I don't think it's like it doesn't have that Japanese look to it. I don't know. I haven't watched the show, Some people might say you're stupid. It's obviously an anime. Some people will be like, why would you even consider it? It's just a cartoon, right? But it's about this superhero guy who I guess, like I said, I haven't seen it. I guess like can't die. He's like invincible. That's why the show's called that.
Mm.
And from what I know, I think his dad like rams his head through a subway and tries to kill him, like his own father. And I hear it's really sad. And it's
Does
like
his father have superpowers too?
I guess his dad is
Because he would have been Dunzo if he would have hit that train.
It's called Omni Man. So I think that he's like Superman. Dude, like I said, I'm butchering the entire plot of the show, but that's what I'm getting.
Is it like a true superhero? Like it's a
It's a
DC
comic
or
book.
comic? Is it a real comic? That's what I'm saying.
It's a real comic. I think it might be Marvel. I think it might be DC, to be honest with you. Might be neither of them. Probably it is. I'm probably making a fool out of myself because I don't know anything. But I do know what I told you. And what I also know is that people are going ham over the show. And like I'm really like curious to see what's up.
All right. That's all we got.
That's the whole ball of wax.
See you next time. Hopefully I'll be a little skinny. I'm sure it's something.
Are you saying next time or like in post editing?
Make music. I hate it.
Hate what? You're fat?
It feels weird. Like when I move around, I'm like, the fuck?
At least you don't move around and feel like your bones are just shredding each other. That's how I feel. Because I'm so skinny.
Have you seen pictures of me when I was your age?
Yeah.
I was skinny like you and short.
Because there was nothing to eat up until you were 14.
Yeah.
So you were starving. You were starving.
Yeah.
So there you go. I'm not starving. I eat every day.
Yeah, you're tall. You have a genetic code that says, hey, when the material that feeds the muscles come in, make him taller, not fatter. Right? So your genetics is going tall.
So until when? I was 5'4" going into 6th grade, Dad. 5'4". I'm almost a foot taller than that. Only 5 short years later. I guess that makes sense.
You know, tell your grandpa not to be so tall.
I'm taller than him. I'm actually not taller than him. He's a little bit taller than me. Just by an inch or two. We can stop recording now. This is pointless
It's
conversation.
behind the scenes, man.
Behind the scenes, this is the lamest. Nobody's going to understand what we're talking about.
I don't care.
Nobody's going to care, at least. They're going to be gone. This is our commercial break. Commercial break.
I'm doing ASMR.
No one wants to hear that ASMR.
Hello.
Prickly mustache looking.
Today I'm going to prickle my mustache against the microphone.
I don't want to. I don't.
Oh my god!
Thank God I don't have those headphones on, dude.
I just realized that I can do ASMR to myself.
No.
I can ASMR bait.
Bro, I'm about to pee myself, so we gotta wrap this crap
Yeah,
up.
go man. Go. We already wrapped it up. I'm just.
Thanks for watching Father and the Kid podcast. I'm about to pee myself.
I am going.